The first thing you notice isn't what you see, it's what you hear. A rising tide of sound, voices layered over voices, footsteps striking stone, merchants shouting, animals snorting, metal clinking, fabric rustling. It builds gradually, like stepping into a living current, until it surrounds you completely. And then you realize you're not observing ancient Rome.
You're inside it. The morning sun hangs low over the city, casting long golden shadows across worn stone streets. The air is already warm, carrying a dense mixture of smells: fresh bread, crushed herbs, olive oil, sweat, damp wool, smoke from early cooking fires. It's not clean. It's not quiet. But it's alive in a way that feels immediate and undeniable.
You begin walking. The street beneath your feet is uneven, paved with large stones polished smooth by generations of movement. Narrow gutters run along the sides, carrying away waste and water, though not always effectively. Every step feels grounded in time, as if the ground itself remembers every foot that has passed before. Ahead, the market unfolds. It doesn't announce itself with a grand entrance. It simply grows. Stalls appearing, voices rising, movement thickening, until suddenly you are surrounded by it. This is the marketplace of Rome, the economic and social heartbeat of the city. Not a single location, but a network of activity centered around open spaces, streets, and the edges of the forum. And already, it's crowded. Merchants are setting up their stalls, wooden tables, woven baskets, cloth canopies stretched overhead to block the strengthening sun. Goods are unpacked, arranged, displayed with care. There is strategy in everything: where items are placed, how they catch the light, how easily a passerby can reach them. A baker passes by carrying a tray of fresh bread, steam still rising from its crust. The smell cuts through everything else, warm, rich, irresistible. Behind him, a small crowd begins to form, drawn not just by hunger, but by familiarity. Bread is daily life here. It's sustenance, currency, and comfort all at once. You move deeper. To your left, a produce stall bursts with color. Figs split open to reveal deep red interiors. Grapes spill over woven baskets. Olives, green, black, and somewhere in between, are piled high, glistening with oil. The vendor, a woman with quick hands and sharper eyes, calls out prices, her voice cutting cleanly through the noise. You continue forward, and the crowd thickens. Romans of every class move through this space. Wealthy citizens in clean, bright togas glide past with measured confidence, their presence commanding space without effort. Slaves follow closely behind them, carrying goods, watching silently, always attentive. Laborers, dusty, worn, practical, push through the crowd with purpose, focused on tasks rather than appearances. And then there are the merchants themselves. They are the pulse of this place. Loud, persuasive, relentless. Every stall is a performance. Voices rise and fall in rhythmic patterns, each seller competing not just for attention, but for trust. There is no silence here. Silence means invisibility. A spice merchant catches your attention. His stall is smaller, but it draws people in. Small clay containers hold powders and dried leaves, colors ranging from deep reds to pale greens to rich browns. The scent is intense, layered, unfamiliar yet strangely inviting. These spices have traveled far, across deserts, through ports, carried by traders who connect Rome to the wider world. He lifts a pinch of something between his fingers, offering it to a customer to smell. The gesture is deliberate, almost theatrical. This is not just trade, it's experience. Nearby, a fabric seller displays bolts of cloth, linen, wool, and, for those who can afford it, silk. The textures invite touch. Customers run their fingers across the surfaces, feeling the difference between everyday material and luxury. Prices are debated. Deals are struck.
Every interaction is a negotiation. Nothing is fixed. Value is fluid, shaped by urgency, by relationships, by the subtle reading of another person's intent. A good merchant doesn't just sell goods, they read people. You turn into a narrower lane, where the market becomes more intimate. Here, artisans work as they sell. A metal worker hammers at a piece of bronze, each strike ringing sharply through the air. Sparks flicker briefly before disappearing. Next to him, a potter shapes clay on a simple wheel, his hands steady, practiced. The transformation from raw material to finished object happens in front of you, in real time. People stop to watch, because in this world, creation is not hidden. It's part of daily life. Further along, a scribe sits at a small table, writing for those who cannot. He dips a reed pen into ink, carefully forming letters on parchment. A man stands beside him, dictating a message, perhaps business, perhaps personal. Words here carry weight. Not everyone has access to them. The market shifts again as you move. The sounds change, the density increases. You emerge into a larger open space, closer to the forum. Here, the market blends into the political and social core of Rome. Conversations are different, less about goods, more about news, influence, decisions. A group gathers around a speaker, his voice steady and confident. He speaks of events beyond the city, military movements, political changes, rumors from distant provinces. People listen, not just out of curiosity, but because information here is power, and the market is where that power circulates. You notice how everything connects. Trade brings goods. Goods bring people. People bring ideas. Ideas shape the city. Nothing exists in isolation. Even the smallest transaction is part of something larger. As midday approaches, the heat intensifies. The sun now sits high, pressing down on the stone, reflecting upward, making the air feel heavier. Cloth canopies offer partial relief, casting shifting patterns of shade across the ground. Merchants wipe sweat from their brows, but continue without pause. The pace doesn't slow. If anything, it accelerates. This is the busiest time, the peak of activity. Deals must be made, goods must be sold, before the day begins to fade. You stop for a moment, stepping slightly aside from the main flow. And you watch. You watch the rhythm of it all,
The movement, the voices, the exchanges, the subtle gestures, the quick decisions, the constant awareness of everything happening at once. This is not chaos. It's order, just not the kind you're used to. It's a system built on human interaction, on instinct, on experience passed down through generations. A young boy weaves through the crowd, carrying a small basket. He moves quickly, confidently, avoiding collisions with ease. He has grown up in this environment. For him, this isn't overwhelming. It's normal.
An older man stands nearby, observing a stall with careful attention. He asks questions, listens to answers, weighs options. His pace is slower, but his decisions are deliberate. Experience has taught him patience. Different lives, same space. And then, gradually, something shifts again. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but you feel it.
The light begins to soften. Shadows stretch longer. The intensity of the market starts to ease, just slightly. Some stalls begin to pack away goods. Others push for final sales, voices rising again in urgency. The day is turning. But the market doesn't disappear. It transforms. Because in Rome, this place is never just about buying and selling. It's about connection, about presence, about being part of something larger than yourself. As you begin to step away, retracing your path through the thinning crowd, the sounds start to fade, not because they stop, but because you're leaving them behind. The voices become distant, the movement less dense, until once again you find yourself on a quieter street. The stone beneath your feet is the same. The air still carries traces of the market. But something has changed, because now you understand what this place really is. Not just a market, but a living system, a reflection of Rome itself, complex, vibrant, relentless. And as the last echoes of the day linger behind you, one thought remains. This wasn't just a place where people came to trade. It was where Rome came to live. History isn't just something we read. It's something we can step into, moment by moment, detail by detail, until it feels real again. What you've just experienced isn't imagination alone. It's a reconstruction of lives once lived, voices once heard, places that shaped the world we know today. Through AI, we're not just looking back, we're rebuilding the past, piece by piece, so it can be seen, heard, and felt again. Because history fades unless we bring it back. And there are still countless stories waiting to be rediscovered, cities lost to time, moments that changed everything, lives that deserve to be remembered. So stay with us, because the next journey won't just tell you history, it will take you there.